Hello everybody, CatSheet1383 with CatSheet Gaming, and recently Nintendo announced GoldenEye for the Virtual Console for the Switch. Now, I don't know how most people feel about it, but I was checking my Xbox and something went under the radar. Xbox also released GoldenEye for the Xbox console. It's not on the PC version of Game Pass, but it is on the Xbox version. As you can see here, here's the controls. And it's not exactly a pure emulation. It alters the control scheme of GoldenEye. Now, let's be completely honest. GoldenEye mainly holds a spot of nostalgia for its gameplay versus actually being good. It has not aged well at all, even with modernizing the controls, where it's basically like playing any other first-person shooting out there at this point in time. And I'm pretty sure speedrunners are pretty much the only people who really care about this game. I don't think there's a GoldenEye multiplayer tournament out there at all. I mean, there could be, but most likely not. But for anyone who's young, I guess you can sort of get a feel of what it was like to play GoldenEye back in the day. I mean, I wasn't even a teenager when this came out. And I never did anything too extensive with it because I just didn't have the skill or the patience for it. Not to mention the controls on the 64 were awkward. I mean, I think we can all admit the 64 was kind of a big mistake on Nintendo's part. I think even Shigeru Miyamoto has declared it his least favorite console due to everything just not coming together with that particular console and costing them the lead in the console sort of competition. I guess you could argue the Wii brought them back, and same for the Switch. I don't know. That's a totally different subject. But to be honest, when it comes to this game, you really aren't missing out on anything. I don't know how it controls on the Switch version. I'm not about to fork over $50 to find out. And the only reason why I'm even bothering with the Xbox version is it has achievements. Some of them are multiplayer based, and I'm sort of wondering if you have to play the multiplayer versions of the said game. They have like a 4v4, which I guess, yes, you just tell up 4 players, but it'll flash on your screen that you need to plug in controllers for the other players. So it's kind of pointless. And like I said, this game, even at the time, I didn't really think about it or even know better, but it has some really bad game design elements in this particular game. Bullets push you backwards when you get hit, which Dark Tide still does that. That's a modern game that came out 2 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever it was, 3 months ago. I don't know why anyone thinks that's good game design or why bullets should push you back. On top of that, you can't fire when you get hit. Like at all. You get this 3-second sort of pause where you can't fire anymore. And if you get a bunch of guys in a hallway firing at you, you're not getting a shot off. Now, I will admit a little bit the bullets are somewhat of a two-edged sword. Not quite. In some cases, you can actually use them to your advantage to push you a little bit further and a little bit faster to help with some of those speed challenges that they have in the game, which kind of brings me to one of the more irritating parts of the game, which are the target times. Some of them are really, really easy to get. Anyone who's played this game and tried to get the target time for the level statue knows exactly what I mean, where it's pretty much down to the wire most of the time. I had 4 seconds to spare when I finally did it. And I'm not sure you can use some of the same methods and techniques used to speed up Bond, like running sideways or strafing, because you can run faster while strafing than you can forward. I think looking down does, but strafing doesn't seem to do that in the Xbox version. And if you just want to try out this game to see what it was like, if you've never played GoldenEye before, and you're young, unlike me, an old guy who's been around a while. Oh, I'm not like that old. I'm younger than 40, but you know, back in my day kind of situation going on here. This what it was like. You can sort of get a feel what it was like to play games in the 90s. Just a little bit. I mean, if you really want to go all the way, I guess go try and find a 64 if you can, along with a copy of this game. And you'll see how awkward it is to play GoldenEye with a 64 controller. But unless you're maybe doing some achievement hunter, or for me it was like semi-personal because I never did those 00 agent difficulties when I played as a kid. And I wanted to do that. And now I have the achievements mostly to show that I did it. But in typical Microsoft fashion, a lot of the achievements did not unlock. And I'm not sure if I'd have to play through the whole entire game again and do it all over on a different file. I'm not doing that. Maybe they'll fix it. I don't know. But yes, I beat every single last level on Secret Agent. It's definitely a lot easier with the modern control scheme. And I guess there's one other thing that just sort of came to mind while I was sort of recording. I wanted to go over that, yes, some of the other aspects are there's a little bit of a heavy auto-aim. And it's very noticeable, but sometimes it just doesn't want to work and you'll completely miss regardless of it. So it works whenever it wants to. And I guess there's one other thing, and that due to sort of technical limitations of the game, they can shoot through corners in the level, so you might want to watch out for that. I don't know. It just felt like this game went under the radar in comparison to what Nintendo put out. And I don't know, that's the only really thing that came to mind. But I guess play it if you want to see what it was sort of like. If you're an achievement hunter, go for it. Otherwise, you're not missing out on much. It's not really all that great of a game in hindsight. It was the game on the consoles back in the 90s, but Perfect Dark came around and it was a much better game. And then Halo came out, which is an even better game. GoldenEye walked so that Halo could, let's go with jog, because they improved upon Halo. Let's face that. I mean, yes, they had Doom, but it's nothing in comparison to, let's say, the scale that Halo brought to first-person shooters on consoles. And they were always subpar in comparison to even the PC versions. So, I don't know, I'm kind of rambling, but I just wanted to sort of put this out because I found it weird that they did not say anything at all. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Have a good one.